Hi guys, I am so excited to be filming this video. We are doing a first impression and slightly extensive wear test on the Lawless new foundation. This is the Conceal the Deal Long Wear Full Coverage Foundation. I just did a first impression video on the Estee Lauder Sheer. Please go check out that video and see what I think, but P.S. I love it. And I feel a little weird doing another first impression, but I can't not. I want to get this video out to you if you're interested in buying it. And this foundation sounds exactly like something I'm into, which is what it says, long wearing, full coverage. It even says it's lightweight, like natural finish. I'm going to read you what it says about it. This is the packaging. This is like so interesting. It actually reminds me a little bit of like the Estee Lauder or like the Fenty Beauty squeezy tube thing. Looks small, but it is 1 ounce. Also says self-setting, which is really interesting. So here's the box, here's the actual product. It says Clean AF on here, which is what Lawless is all about. It has 28 shades right now on their website. I will say the shade range, let me see if I can show you here, is not phenomenal. Like I only see one pretty deep shade and it's not even that deep according to the little circle here. Maybe it's, you know, darker or they're darker than they look on the screen, but it's 28 shades, which seems like enough, but I'm just a little surprised there's not a lot more deep shades. Let's look at the details. First of all, it's 100% vegan, paraben-free, sulfate-free, silicone-free, which is interesting for a foundation. That doesn't happen that often. Talc-free, gluten-free, cruelty-free, actually made with recyclable packaging, which love that. That's great. Normal, oily, dry combination, all skin types, full coverage, natural matte finish, which I love. Long-wearing, hydrating, self-setting, lightweight. I mean, if it's self-setting, the only other, well, I shouldn't say the only other foundation, but one of the other foundations this sounds like is my all-time end-all be-all foundation, which is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. Not the sheer, although I love that, but just the regular Double Wear. It is very self-setting, long-wearing, blah, 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 blah. Looks like it has a few like little ingredients like a flower extract, goji berry. I don't really care about that, to be honest. There is a tip on here, which I have never seen another company do this. When you look at the swatches on like somebody's arm, you can see that there's a wet swatch and a dry swatch. So this foundation does dry down, which makes me a little nervous because I got a kind of tan shade, kind of a lot tan. So I don't know if I'm an idiot and this is gonna be like absolutely the darkest shade you've ever seen. I might have to bring it all the way down, but we're gonna do it for the video. However, this also says Annie's tip, who is the owner of Lawless, note that each shade dries down slightly deeper than how they apply wet. This is due to the high all-natural pigment content and the lightweight formula. So it's nice that they're like very transparent about that. A lot of times you'll see people, at least on YouTube, like applying foundation, be like, oh, it oxidizes, it gets a lot darker, keep that in mind. But like, how often does a company flat out tell you, hey, it's gonna oxidize or just get darker? We always feel like a lot of people use the word oxidize, even though that's not necessarily what's happening, but you get what I mean. I actually think I'm going to go ahead and do my eye makeup because that is what I would typically do. And then I will come back and we will start doing all of the complexion products. So see you in a sec. All right, we are ready to apply. And first thing I'm noticing is this is a very liquidy formula. Very, very, very lightweight liquid. I just put like a little tiny dot on the back of my hand because I want to show you how this dries down. And I'll put another swatch by it wet once this one dries because I want to see the difference in the darkness of the dry shade. This one is in the shade Palo Santo, by the way. And I think it's going to be a little dark, but I think I might be okay bringing it down my neck a little bit. So that's going to dry down and I'll show you what the difference is. But this is very liquidy. This is you need to shake it up. It's a little, if you don't, you put it on the back of your hand, it separates a little bit, like it's a little watery, but very, very thin. Very, very, very. Not like a normal liquid foundation. I'm actually going to apply it directly to my skin because I just think that that'll be easy than doing it on the back of my hand and then picking up. You can do either way. But this is what it's looking like. So super, super thin. Hopefully you can tell. And I am going to blend this in with my preferred method, which is a dampened sponge. It's hard to use a sponge sometimes with such a thin formula because I get nervous that it's literally just soaking directly in. So we'll see. If I have to switch to a brush, then we can definitely do that. So down here on my chin, I did have some red spots from picking at my skin, which is one of my favorite pastimes. This is definitely tan for me. It was a little hard for me to pick my shade online. Sometimes I have most of the time, I have absolutely no problem doing that. Like, I'm good at it, but this was kind of hard because I wanted to make sure the undertone wasn't too peach. Okay, so that looks like it has a little more coverage. I think I need to add more to this one. Real quick, not to like interrupt myself, but this is the shade Dried Down, and I want to show you what the shade looks like wet. So I put just that much, and it really does kind of go a long way. So that is the difference there, and there is a decent difference. This is obviously wet, this is dry, so you can see. But again, I really am proud, I guess, of the company for being so transparent about that. They really want you to be able to see, hey, like, pick your shade based off of the dry swatch versus the wet one, so you're not disappointed. Okay, I definitely need to layer this up. Because it is so thin, it does seem like it could be a foundation that you apply with your hands. So if you're into that, might be one to consider. I actually want to go on this side and maybe my forehead with a brush and just kind of see. I mean, I already have a layer down, but I just want to see if it's like remarkably better for layering and coverage. Typically a brush would be, because it's not going to soak up as much product. This brush, you may know that I've been loving. This is from Rare Beauty. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't really need a ton of coverage on my forehead, so I didn't really layer that up that much. I did layer up the rest of my face, not so much my nose, but coverage-wise, I do like the coverage a lot. I luckily don't have like a ton of blemishes. My melasma is going down a little bit, although I can still see it. So I don't feel like I need more coverage than this. I feel like this is pretty close to full coverage, if not layerable to full coverage, so buildable. I think the color is pretty good. I mean, it's a little dark, but I think bringing it down my neck is fine, so I'm glad about that. The finish is pretty natural. I mean, it does have like a soft focus kind of effect to where it looks a little matte, but I still see some reflection when I move my skin, like especially in the lights. It does not look flat, which is really, really good. I do feel like a little bit went a long way. However, I did have to layer it up on the areas where I wanted more coverage. I do also feel like a brush is the best way to apply it. I definitely think you can with a sponge if that's your preferred method, but I think if you really want to get the most out of the foundation for this texture, I do think a brush is going to give you the best effect that you're probably looking for. I'm going to go finish the rest of my makeup and I will be back for our first check-in. Okay, so makeup is done. It's 10:30 in the morning. I've had the foundation on for about a half hour now. Yes, it takes me that long to finish my makeup, especially when I'm watching Dr. Phil. So I really love the foundation. I'm super happy with it. Everything went on great. I did set my face with some powder, not extensively, but some of the main areas like my smile lines, my nose. I do want to set my face also with a setting spray because that's part of my routine. I always do this for all my first impressions. The thing I want to say, we are going to do a wear test. The thing I want to say is it really sucks because I am going to be wearing a mask for some of the day, which is like a nightmare when you're trying to have perfect looking makeup all day or really give the foundation a really fair shot at looking good all day long. Because obviously if a piece of fabric's rubbing against your face most of the day, it's like, how could I possibly expect it to look awesome? But that's the world that we're living in right now. And so I'm not going to not do this wear test. You know what I mean? Like that's what I battle with, is with wearing a mask. I know you guys don't care about this, but with wearing the mask, I almost, especially like on the weekend or if I don't have anything like super important to do, I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna wear makeup, or I'll wear just like a sunscreen and some brow product or something. Once in a while, I will do like a lightweight coverage situation. But if I have to wear a mask for an extended period of time, I just am like, I'm not wearing makeup. Like, what's the point? But I was so excited to try out this foundation that I thought it would be worth it. I'm also really excited because we're going to see a couple houses today. Me and my husband Jorge are house hunting, and oh my God, it's such a freaking roller coaster of excitement and like, oh my God, like picturing your life in a house and then deciding for whatever reason that it's not gonna work out. Like, you see the pictures online and you like get in this like mesmerized mode, and then you go there, and just like, if you've done house hunting, you know, this is only our second time. Would be our second house. So it's not like I've done this a million times, but we are going to go see a couple houses that have some promise. So I am really excited about that. But I do wear a mask the whole time, and I hope you guys would do the same. So if you don't, unsubscribe from my channel. So basically, back to the foundation. I think this looks pretty goddamn near perfect, guys. Like, this reminds me of Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is the gold standard in my opinion. It reminds me a little bit of another fave foundation lately, the Dose of Colors foundation. I actually did a first impression on this recently. What else does it remind me of? Oh, a little bit it reminds me too of the NARS Soft Matte, but way easier to apply, way more lightweight, not nearly as heavy. I mean, my skin looks just like perfect. Like, this one will make your face look perfect, but it doesn't to me look heavy. It just looks like damn good makeup, to be honest. I also want to mention a couple things. One thing I also tried out today, which I'm so excited about, is this little Beauty Blender puff, which I didn't know it had like two little spots. Like, there's this, I don't know why, like this little opening. So I guess you could put like your fingers here, or you could put them through here. But this side, you could see some powder like coming out. This is like velveteen, like super, super soft. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is like $15. Buy this, buy this. Don't buy the ones on Amazon unless you really don't care about it and you just don't want to spend that much money. I mean, they will work. And don't buy the Tati Beauty Blendiful. Sorry, gonna be real. Like, this I have had for less than a year. I don't use it absolutely every day. I only hand wash it, and there are areas where it is like ripping on the side. And I know it's like, you've had it for almost a year. I don't use this that often, and I do not like do anything rough with it. I have only thrown it in the wash one time when I first got it, and it was fine. But since then, I've hand washed it. So theoretically, this should literally last me almost like 5 years, my whole life. I don't know, something. This just seems to be made way, way better. This side is also like a sponge, like a traditional compact sponge material. So you could, I guess, use this side as well. But this for setting my under eyes and some of the rest of my face, absolutely excellent. I literally bought two at once because I knew I was gonna love it. Highly recommend this right now. I'm gonna tell you, I love it. Okay, so that is it for now. I will do some check-ins. I'll see you in a little bit. and we'll see how this is going. So this is the first check-in. It's been about 3 hours since I applied it, and I've been wearing my mask in and out of places, and I have to say the foundation still looks really good. Like, there is somewhere on the tip of my nose there, you can see those little dots, but other than that, like everywhere else on my face, it looks good. It looks really, really good. I'm still super happy with it. And I just thought I would do my first check-in. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, it has been 12 hours since I applied this foundation. I am finally home and ready to do this final check-in. I'm looking rough, okay, admittedly, but it's literally 10 o'clock at night. As I mentioned, I've had the foundation on for 12 hours. I put it on initially at like 10 o'clock. Everything is looking, this is literally the first time that I'm able to like sit down and really look at it. And I am very, very impressed with the wear. Now, as I mentioned, I wore a mask today. And because of that, of course, this area especially looks worn. I mean, where the mask goes over my nose, it has rubbed off a decent amount of the foundation. I'm looking a little like dry and patchy here, but it's right where the mask is. Also somewhat on my chin. Of course, my lip has worn off completely, so that looks awful. But if you really look from like here back and my forehead, it looks so good. Like truly so good. I only have a little bit of oil right here, and this is kind of where the mask was like rubbing me. So I'm not even upset about that. Honestly, if you look here back, I don't even really have any lines from my mask, which is really, really impressive. My forehead, of course, didn't touch the mask at all. Looks pretty darn good. I mean, I don't look super oily. I don't look dry. I don't look cakey. The smile line area, I usually get a lot of gather right there with the foundation. And this is noticeable, but minimal. This was a rough wear test. Not only do we have Florida heat in August, we have I wore a mask. We have the fact that my dog licked my face multiple times, at least in this area. We have the fact that I just went on like a 45-minute walk outside. We rode with the top down on the Jeep, and I mean, look at my hair, obviously. And this was all like in my face most of the afternoon. So I really couldn't have been more tough on this foundation. And the fact that it looks the way it does, I am really, really happy with it. So final impression is obviously, I love it. I think it is absolutely excellent. And I would put this, okay, this is the first time I'm wearing it, but I would put this up there with my Estee Lauder Double Wear. I truly, truly would. Like maybe tied, to be honest with you, because I feel like my Estee Lauder Double Wear would wear very similarly to this. I do, however, a little bit like the application of this better because I like that it's kind of in a squeeze tube. For Estee Lauder Double Wear, you literally have to buy a separate pump for it, which makes me violent. It is also more expensive. It is I think it's $45, and then you have to buy the pump, which you can reuse the pump, but the pump itself is $10. So at least for your first purchase, it's like a $55 purchase. It is in a glass bottle as well, which some people don't like to travel with that. This is very easy to travel with. I mean, it's just hard plastic. And like I said, the squeeze tube is very hygienic and easy to apply. This, even with the pump, to be honest with you, is kind of a pain in the ass to get out of the pump. So, I mean, if you look at those factors, this might even be my top #1 favorite. I'm scared to say that at this point, but that's how good it is. I also, by the way, love the color. I think the color on me, especially bringing it down a little bit, worked out really nicely. I think the dry down was significant, like when I showed you the swatches, but but not enough to where it's like, oh my God, this is gonna be impossible to choose a shade. So anyways, that is everything. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you tried this product yet? I'm dying to know your thoughts. Will you pick it up? I hope I've convinced you that you need to try it because I really feel like you do. Thank you anyways for watching. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.